Okay, girlies, I've been meaning that we are long overdue a chat. So we're going to chat. We're going to chat all things divorce. And disclaimer, it's going to be a bit of a girly gossip. So it's not going to be, like, we are separating ways. Respect our privacy. No, I'm talking to you like one of my girlfriends, okay? Because I've been doing a lot of that recently. And I'm like, I did some of these things that my friends are saying to me. And I'm like, I didn't think about that. And I feel like I need to tell you a lot because so many of you are asking me, like, what made you decide? What made you fucking tap out? I know there's loads of you who don't want to be with your man too. I mean, I'm not trying to push divorce, but this might help you, might stay there a little longer because I didn't think about some of these things, okay? So, if you're going to be easily offended... Wait, why is that so high? Wait, is that better? I don't like how high that is. What the heck? What the hell, auntie? What the hell, James? Am I in the middle? That will have to do, okay? If you're easily offended, leave, okay? This is a girls' chat. Go get a tea, coffee, wine, whatever you drink, right? Because you're going to be like... I'm talking to her. We're actually having a conversation now. This is not YouTube. This is a conversation, right? And also, because of some of your comments and DMs, and I haven't responded to anyone on DMs because there's so many, but I have tried to read and grasp what people are asking me. And then I put a question out the other day on my Instagram and I just said, I try and answer it in one big question, or I put a question box out and I let you guys ask me some questions. So I'll answer them as well. But you're all like, what now? What's happened to the divorce? Do you still live together, dear? Like, oh my God. Do you know why I've been MIA? When was the last video? Was it 3 weeks ago? I've been spending 3 weeks avoiding jail. Avoiding jail. That's more for me. That's more for me. Now I'm looking at it in hindsight. I'm like, why am I shocked? Why am I shocked? We had an amicable divorce, right? I don't like saying do I say divorce, even though I'm not divorced, but I'm definitely, like, I feel like married. I don't want to say I'm married. I don't want to say separated either, because separated is like with the hope. There's no hope. But we're amicably divorced. I fought for my life to iron out all the plans for this. For him, for for the children, for finances, all of it. He's agreed. Why is he not following it? Or telling me he doesn't understand it after I've told him 17 times. So I've been avoiding jail, okay, because I wouldn't do it married. I'm not doing it single, brother. Okay, so that's where I've been. But the divorce, man. You guys want tea? I'm going to get the questions up, but I don't want to start with the questions because I already wanted to update you all anyway, because loads of you are saying how do you really feel? Tell me how you really feel. I swear I would never lie on the internet. And I don't think I lied anyway, not telling you guys, but not actually just coming and saying I'm getting a divorce when I actually asked for it over a year ago made me feel awful as a person. This guy, right, is signed up to Amazon with my number, sending me one-time passcodes, and I guarantee you, he's going to ring me again in 5 seconds. Can I have my Amazon passcode? Am I your keeper, brother? If he rings me for this code, I want to send it so he doesn't ring me, but I also want to prove a point that, what the fuck? I wanted to just update you guys anyway, because I wasn't I don't want to say I wasn't honest, because I wasn't lying. I didn't lie. But every day that went by before I said anything, because he'd not told anybody, his family and stuff, I just thought, this is the worst. And I know there's loads of couples on here pretending. I know there's so many couples pretending. I've also made couple content in an unhappy marriage and wanted to chop that man's head off. And you lot all followed me. I'm like, what? Don't believe the internet, okay? So I wanted to update you on that. How I feel? Fine. Actually, I feel great. I feel expeditious. And a lot of you are like, well, how? How can you feel like that if you're still doing the same thing you were married? I'm not doing the same thing I was when I was married. But even if I was, do you know the burden of showing up for someone else's son or daughter, but in this case son, when you've got nothing left in the tank? When you're constantly, my weight loss journey actually started when I said I wanted to have a divorce. It was around that time. Because I thought, fuck it, I don't owe you shit now. Second you walk in this house, I'm walking out. Before he gets home, we eat dinner together. Now, thank you, swap shifts, high five on the way out, do you know what I mean? That gave me more time to pour back into me. So even if I was still looking after my kids 5 days, 6 days, 7 days a week, I'm not. But I'd still feel great anyway because I've got so much more time to myself, to do things for myself. I look the best I've ever looked. Like, period. I'll say that with chest in the least arrogant way possible. So I feel good. The only downfall is the last few weeks have been a little tough because, one, I don't want to say we're living together because we're not, but we kind of are. He's lurking. I shouldn't say that. That's terrible, isn't it? He's not lurking, like, he owns this property, you know what I mean? Like, it's not my house, it's our house. And if I could leave, I would, but I have 2 kids that are familiar with this house, they have a bedroom, so, you know, I'm trying to be conscious, do a smooth process. I don't want this property. Falls unsure whether he wants it or not, so you can grapple with that. I don't really care. I don't care to argue over things that don't mentally pay me, you know, and this house doesn't. So, because he's in and out, when he's in, and I'm out, do you understand? And it's not like we're fighting, screaming, but I'm a bit of a professional loner anyway. So, like, my kids will go to bed. I have a gym in my garage. I can go to my gym because obviously I'm still at home, it's in my house. And I'll go to put my kids to bed, like, shower them, do everything for them. Like, I probably try my best. Like, there's something so, like, I'm going to get them from school, I'm going to take them to the park, I'm going to bake cookies with them, I'm going to shower them, I'm going to, you know, like, I mean, they wash every day and whatever, but not every day can be asked to make cookies and shit, you know what I'm saying? So, you do all that, you get in bed on time, 6:15, bang, I'm going to work out, and I'm like, yeah, and then you open the door and he's standing there, I'm like, what? Why are you back? But I can't say that because it's his house too, do you know what I mean? So that has caused a little friction because I wasn't saying anything until I said something, do you know what I mean? Then he's like, what the fuck, like, chill the fuck out. And I mean, I don't really agree with him, but I do. I agree with you saying it's your house, but then if you want to live here, then I don't. So decide. Anyway, we've decided, okay, that's soon to be ending, where we won't need to cross paths. I like that. I think if we want to be friends in the long run, let me be, man. Leave me alone. I don't want to see you in my pajamas. I don't want to see you when I'm not even brushing my teeth. I don't want to see you when I'm just getting out the shower. And, like, honestly, this is not even a flex thing. This is a pretty big house. There's 3 bathrooms in this house. I don't even share bathrooms with this man, and it's bothering me, okay? So that has played a part in me because I've been not really filming content because I can hear you breathing. Go away. You know what I mean? Like, I'm being honest. This is an honest video, okay? So that's how I feel. We've come to a conclusion. We're gonna, while he decides, I don't know if he's gonna sell this house or stay in it. I don't care. I think he probably should stay in it because I think men are big babies and the odds of him buying another house and making it home, slim. I'll be honest. That sounds so rude, but it's not slagging off Fest either, but slim. Come on now. I bet you his new wife will be, like, in my decor, do you know what I mean? I've painted spots, like Dalmatian spots on one of the bathroom walls, hand by hand. She'll be looking at that. That's their business, not mine. Anyway, I feel great. I feel better now we've got a plan. There'll be a clean plan where I'm here. Another Amazon code. I am going. See, it's this shit. This is the shit. Like, this is marriage shit. Put your own number. Like, I mean, he hasn't rang me yet, but it's probably because he thinks she'll kick my head in because he's already rang me 3 times for this fucking Amazon code. Like, put the code in. Anyway, do you see why I don't really want, you know what I mean? Like, just... Anyway, got a plan. And then, although we made this schedule to do 50-50 custody with the kids, we kept going back and forth on his understanding of it, which we've made very clear now. We're doing 4 and 3. And the reason, you lot might be like, why is she telling us this? Because there's people who don't know how to do this, okay? There's people who don't even know where to start. So if you're not one of them people, okay, we're doing 4 and 3. That is the fairest way possible. I'll look after them for 4 days. Me, completely. 4 days, and then he'll do 3 days. And then the next week I'll do 3 days, and he'll do 4 days. And then the following week I'll do 4 days, he'll do 3 days. And the following week I'll do 3 days, he'll do 4 days. Because there's 7 days in a week. That's the only way to make it completely fair for everybody. And when the kids are with him, he will cover the cost of whatever they need. When they're with me, I'll cover the cost of whatever they need. And we'll just work it that way. Can you send me the thing, please? This guy's taking the piss. Honestly, like... I've sent it, but can you not put your own number? Why are you putting my number? Do I look like an admin? Let's put the phone down. Do you see what I mean? Like, oh, he's jawed out that I'm jawed out with him using my number. You see what I mean? You're married for that long, you become one. You know when you ask him a question, are you hungry? And he says, are we hungry? Well, there's no we, bruv. This is before the divorce. I don't like the lack of identity here, man. Anyway, we're tweaking out now. I'm going to keep all this in the video because it's the truth. It's the fucking truth. There's no beef, by the way. Probably going to see him later. He's not going to say anything. But he's going to be pissed off that I'm pissed off that he's using my fucking number. Like, what the fuck is this? Charity event. Anyway, we're doing 4 and 3. That's the best way it's going to work for the kids. And whoever's got the kids will be here until it's decided what he's doing with here. I'm also trying to get my own house anyway, but it's like, where am I buying this house? If you're not keep staying here, why am I staying here? Because you're only here, and I'd be going here because of his school there. But if you're going Timbuktu, then I'm going Timbuktu. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. So I don't know how this is going to work. But we have another place. We're going to cross paths like that. I'll let you know how that goes, okay? I'll let you know. I'll let you know how it goes. But other than that, and him using my fucking number, even now, I feel fucking great. I feel great. But I've been talking to my friends. But this is one of the reasons why I wanted to do this. Every person who sees me, there's people who follow me on social media who do treatments for me, who live near me, who work in shops near me. I don't know them or whatever, but you know, they follow me. If this is another code. Honestly, this guy is really pissing me off. Do you see what I mean? I can't deal with this. This guy is trying to make me go in a straitjacket, and I'm telling you, if I go in one, I'm dragging him with me. I'm telling you right now, he's taking the piss. Stop using my number. I put some voicemail. Honestly, tell me if I'm being over the top. That is annoying as fuck. Like, am I your admin? I spent 10 years being an administrator, man. Put your own... Do you know what? This is not meant to be a slagging off video, but you can't make it up. It's happening now. Anyway, the people that follow me, every time I see them, you know what they're saying to me? How are you? And I'm like, yeah, fine, sweet, yeah. They're like, oh, you thought about what you're doing with your house yet? It's like always the house first. Everyone, not sure. We're not arguing over the house. No one's fighting over the house. No one's trying to take money from each other. So we're pretty chill about it at the minute. Oh, but once you get settled and you get dating again, I'm like, why does everyone keep saying that? Like, once you get settled and you get dating it, date who? Did I not make it clear on the last video? My dating pool is like this. And then I spoke to my friends, and all my friends, the school moms, they've all said the same thing. They were all like, you're going to have to go on a date because you've been with someone for 10 years. And I was like, I don't actually want to date anyone though. No, this guy is actually... I'm removing your number and putting mine on. It's done now, thanks. Do that in the first place. I said, I don't really want to date anyone. And my friend was like, I don't think you should date anyone, but you need to... This is TMI, but I have to tell you, everyone said to me, like, do you think you'll be all right when you... I know that sounds really weird, doesn't it? It sounds like I've had like a terrible accident, but 10 years. Imagine my lips have never touched anyone else's lips for 10 years. I've never hugged another person romantically for 10 years. I haven't done... For 10 years. And Also, because obviously I've asked for a divorce a long while ago, I'm basically a virgin anyway, and I'm not a frisky person. You all can judge me for the way I speak or what I wear, but I am not. Like, that is just, I was shaking the corner. Like, I just don't like that. However, I can't do that now because I'm 30. It just doesn't make sense. Me with 2 kids being like, oh, I like you, but I don't want to kiss. I can't do that. Everyone who's asking me this, we've had this conversation about how they think I'm going to be when they go in the dating world, and I've told them I'll be horrendous. I can flirt. I can cap anyone you want. I'll bring them back for you. Don't ask me to be physical because I can't, right? Soon as I've answered that question, I've not had one woman this far say to me, you need to go and have sex. I said sex. Did I not just tell I can't even kiss? They said, go and do sex. They said to me, if you do not do sex and you end up meeting someone you want to be in a relationship with, it's not going to work. They're so right. They are so right. Think about it. One, the next person I'm with, properly, they're going to be the one after the marriage, right? Which is not bad, but for me, I don't want that. Also, because I'm not really a sexual person, I feel like I need to just get it out now, you know what I mean? Like, don't forget, before, I wasn't a mom 10 years ago, so maybe now I'm a mom, I might be a little more freaky. I don't know. Maybe I'm too hopeful. But also, like, how am I going to get over this complex? Like, I haven't kissed anyone's lips. I haven't had sex for years. I mean, I don't know, however long I asked for the divorce. Do you know what I mean? That's a long time. I'm a virgin. So then we got into the conversation. And I know, oh my God, the haters are going to be like, I told you she's a hoe. Because they all could call me a 304. I didn't actually know what 304 was until the 45,000 comment down of 304. And I was like, I actually asked him. I said, what the heck is a 304? He was like, ha 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 ho. I was like, oh. He was like, why? Who said that? I was like, oh, nobody. Nobody said that. He probably sees it on the internet. Anyway. Anyone who's calling me a hoe, I don't care, because, you know, it would have to apply to me to hurt my feelings, but let's be realistic, I'm going to have sex. So then, me and my friends, we collectively get together. Who am I going to have sex with? What about, what's your dream person? I said, oh no, I can't meet a new person and do sex. They were like, why? I was like, you're going to have to get the black book out of anyone I've had sex with before, like, you going? I don't want to add another notch on my belt, and there's nothing to it. It's purely to just trauma dump. I'm trauma dumping sex on this person, and I'm gonna leave. It's like that Lola Young song. But me, I only want one thing. That's me. I just want one thing. Let me do that. Let me beat you, right? And then I'm over it. You know what I'm saying? That sounds awful. I'm giving it all this now, and then I won't do it. I won't do it, but I'm gonna have to do it. I am going to have sex. That thought alone, even if it's with the love of my life, I thought it was him again. I am petrified of. But then I'll be like, wait. If I'm doing sex with the love of my life, someone I want to marry, right, I wouldn't give a shit. Because I feel hot. That sounds so arrogant, but I feel hot, right? If I'm doing sex with someone that I don't care for and I'm just trying to grieve this marriage via sex, right? I don't want to talk about my kids with you. I don't even want to say anything. I just want to do the sex. And I'm like, shit, I must not look like a mother. I don't want to look like a mother, because then if I look like a mother, they're going to ask me. And I don't want you to say my son's names, because I've overthought that. Then my friend was like, okay, let's get a black book up. I mean, that sounds terrible, like I've got a massive list. I don't... Look, a black book is hypothetical, okay? It's not even half a page. However, we went through 1, 2, 3 candidates. Absolutely not him. I'm pretty sure he ended up being gay, right? I don't care. I am not. I'm pretty sure that was a lavender relationship, so he's off the table. This one, he's in prison. This one, look, it was a mess, okay? It was a mess. The list was a mess. It boiled it down to like 1 of 2 people. So I was like, you know what? When I woke up the courage, maybe I will. Maybe I will. And then we had a chat again. And they were like, just my friends, you know, like women can just, women and men, they can sleep with people and not think anything of it. Most people can. I am the opposite. I think about how I will feel the next day before I think about how I will feel doing it. This is why I never did a one night stand, nothing like that. Boil it down to two people. They go, whenever you're ready, reach out to one of them. I didn't. I sat and thought about it and I was like, oh, I don't like the way they look, or like what they're going to say, the conversation, how they talk. I just don't like men. Ugh. And then I was like, you're going to be like, Ali, you've done it, you should know. No, I don't, because you do something traumatic and you wipe out your brain, I don't know. What about if you're not even circumcised? I want to be clear about this. I want to be so clear about this. Muslim or not, any children I had, Roger, Lewis, they were always going to be circumcised. I come from a Christian background. My white family are Christian, my black family Jehovah's Witness. Nothing to do with religion. Every person in my family, every person, as vulgar as it sounds, my father, because my grandma's told me, my brother, because my mother told me, everybody's circumcised. I won't find out until I get there. No, that's off the table now. So now I'm going to have this sex complex. Do you want me to get there? And then he's got foreskin. He's going to have foreskin. What do you want me to do with that? I don't even like sex anyway. Never mind foreskin. Anyway, let me just read some of your questions because we're digressing. And this sounds like a really vulgar YouTube, but it's facts. Foreskin? Who's pulling that back? And whoever pulls it back, I do not want to see what's behind there. I don't remember who had foreskin, who didn't. That sounds horrible. And there's not a big list of people either, but I remember this is TMI, isn't it? But I genuinely just remember my marriage. Genuinely, I don't remember what anyone else had. I do know some did, some didn't. But I don't know who. I can't remember. And again, it sounds like I've slept with like 30, 40 people, 25 people, 15 people. No, it's not. If I told you the number, you'd be like, Leah, you're a virgin anyway. I feel like a freak. Well, more than one is crazy for me, I'll be honest. Anyway, let's get to the questions. Because I'm like, will I regret saying this on YouTube? Probably. So I'm going to read some of the questions. And I'll try and answer. Because there were some things about my kids, how do they feel about it, which I was going to talk to you about anyway, but a lot of you have asked in questions. So let's just go to the Q&A, and then we'll take it from there. Oh, God. So that's all the first question. Let me just, before I even answer this question, this is one of the biggest questions, and I know it's the biggest hindrance to most people why they don't do it. It's why people think they can't do it, and it's what people have got so wrong about me in this situation. I will read the question, but I want to make it clear because I did forget to cover it, finances. Everybody's like, I financially, you financially can and I can't financially. Right now, it's probably the worst time for me to get divorced financially. However, my sanity is worth more. It's worth more. So, I'm not dealing with somebody who's going to kick me to the streets. I mean, he'd be stupid too anyway, because he impossible. But, I know there's someone out there that would do that. I'm not dealing with that. So right now I can sit here comfortably while I figure my way through it. And I'll be honest with you, one of the reasons why I almost didn't, it was like, maybe I should just wait until I'm more financially ready. Like, don't forget, I asked for the divorce over a year ago and I had a breast reduction 18 months ago. I just spent 10 smackers on a breast reduction. And then I obviously travel all the time. And I was like, why did I do all that? Why did I do that then? Because now I can't leave, or I feel like I don't have as many options to leave. I can't regret it, man. I cannot regret it. I don't regret it. I'm not in the best financial situation to leave. But I truly believe that if I keep my intentions there, everything will work itself out. So, with that said, let's get to the Q&A. Well, I don't know why I went really low there. The mood changed. We went from talking about foreskin to finance. Love that. Love that. Okay. Has it been difficult to split things financially and agree custody for the boys? You know what? The splitting things financially is where I fucked up in my marriage. We used to always have our own shit and then a joint thing. And then, you know, when you just get lazy and complacent and you're like, oh, put that money in that joint thing for that bill. And you're like, can't be arsed, just put it all in one. We did that. And I'm not saying like, oh, stupid me, he's stolen from me. He hasn't stolen from me. Nobody's stolen from anybody. But keep your money where your money's at, girl. Don't give him a penny more than he needs, than he asks you for, and vice versa. I'm being serious. I would never do that again. Even in another marriage, I would still pay 50-50 because now I pay 50-50 and this is my house too. Imagine if I didn't. Imagine, he might be acting a little different now. We don't know. So shoulda, woulda, coulda situation, but we do not know. However, before, if we go for food, use that card, this card, it didn't matter. It's our money. No. I'm not paying for shit. I'm not paying for my own food. I'm not paying for, if you want to take a trip somewhere, I don't have a card. I don't bank. That's my answer, because I'll never be in this situation again, okay? So it wasn't difficult, but we're still working through that. The only difficulty is, if he keeps this house, which again, I'm cool with him doing, that means I use my own funds and only my own funds to buy my own house. I don't take anything from this house. That's where I fucked up. And you're all going to be like, get him to take equity out of that. No, you know what? My kids are here. I don't care. Keep it. Take the decor. Take the mirrors. I don't care. Honestly, I don't care. If he sells it, win-win. You know what I mean? But he's probably not going to. So, and you all might be thinking, why you not? Because I don't care. I can't explain it. My friends are like, Aaliyah, get it, what's yours? Like, seriously, I'm like, no, I don't think you get it. I got what's mine. My mental well-being is spacious, man. It's spacious. If you saw what's inside here, you wouldn't give a shit too. Seriously. So that wasn't difficult. The custody thing, we haven't put that in writing. It wasn't difficult, but it was constantly like, yeah, I'll split it. I'll do them on weekends. Yeah, weekends. Weekends, like that. And I'm, no, not really. Weekends, like, do a school. I wanted to make sure it was fair. So not just one person was doing school runs, picking up, putting them, because let's be real, even before this split, Far leaves at like 6 and gets back at 8 when we was in a marriage. So he avoided all that anyway. Why should I continue doing that and then you just hang out with them on Saturdays and Sundays? Because I'd love to hang out with them, but I have to follow schedules. So this is why I agreed 4 and 3, 3 and 4. So it wasn't difficult, but his understanding of 4 and 3, 3 and 4 was, Aaliyah do 4, I do 3. And then Aaliyah will pick up on my 3 whenever I'm leaving for work. So that was like pulling teeth, but we're here now. He's got it. We've got the other place getting set up. So yeah, not that difficult. And I think when your kids, when you know, like, at first, I think he agreed, and then he was like, why should I? Why can't we just do this in the same house? Because it's not healthy. How are you ever going to meet someone, date someone, do anything, living in the same space as me? Vice versa. Also, how are you ever going to live alone while you're still living with me? Vice versa. However, I've lived alone before Farhan. Farhan's never lived alone. Farhan used to live with family members and friends, or I don't know, whatever his situation was. You need to be alone. So other than that, it wasn't that deep actually. I mean, it was that deep, but it's not that deep now because it's sorted. But next question, I've lost it. But I did just find this on Farhan's morning the other day, because we started the 4 and 3 already. Oh. We started the 4 and 3 already, but I just don't go downstairs now before the kids leave, because if I do, I end up just taking over, because you know what men are like. I just don't now, because it's not my business. Or I'll go straight out the door into the gym, because I want my kids to get used to this healthy balance of some days you'll see mom, some days you'll see dad. He came running up. Oh, look, I paint my nails. Where's your dad? Where's your dad, hun? Do you see why we need to be in separate houses? Because even though I'm not in the separate house, you still know I'm here. But anyway, next question. How do you feel? How do the boys feel about having change and not having daddy around the house? This is it. He was never really here anyway. And when you guys saw him in videos, those videos were either filmed at like 11, 12 o'clock at night time, or if it was a vlog, again, it would be like, I'd just snip him in. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was always me, you know, and he won't even argue that. I've been looking after these kids. And I'm not saying like, oh, because he's been gallivanting, and you know, he's been going to a job. However, the job hours weren't sufficient enough for me anyway, because it was me. So it hasn't really, they haven't noticed too much. But in fact, They've actually noticed him here more. He's taken him to school more because obviously he's changed now because he needs to change his work hours to accommodate his 4 and 3, 3 and 4, right? So now he's taken him to school more since we've separated. And I've told you guys, than he ever has. They see him more in the mornings. They see him more evenings. So if anything, it's worked in the best thing. I think they're going to get a little shock when it goes 4 and 3, 3 and 4 and they realise no, because I don't want to do the whole come here if you want. No, I mean I get you, but I really don't want that. And that's why we're trying to like iron it out now. So then when we finally do go into our actual properties, whether he stays here or not, it's going to be, and this is mum's house, this is dad's house. Remember that before where mum does it and then dad does it? Do you know what I mean? But they still don't know. I haven't told them. I don't think I should tell them. Especially Jai. I'm like, I don't want to say mommy and daddy are not going to be together while we're still standing in the same kitchen. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not saying that it needs to be toxic, but I just don't think he needs to know all that. But next question. Did you marry Islamically? Also, if so, has this been a different process for you? We got married in every single way known to man. So, we're married Islamically and legally. Legally, it's simple for me. Islamically, I'll be honest, I know you're going to be like, Aaliyah, you should not. Sounds horrible. I don't actually care if he ever files for an Islamic divorce. The reason being is, and this is on one of the other questions, would you marry another Muslim? I wouldn't. And not because I don't like Muslims, or I just think it's too close to home. The dad's Muslim. And then imagine if I marry another Muslim that's not from the same culture as their dad. And it's just messy. So me personally, could be Michael B. Jordan. If he tells me he's Muslim, it's off the cards. Because I want my kids to just have that from their dad. So, to cover both questions, yes, I married both ways. I don't give a shit if he wants to do an Islamic divorce or not. I won't push him for that. But I'm pretty sure he'll want to, because otherwise he won't be able to get married again. Do you know? So if he wants to, whatever you need me to do, I'll do, okay? And don't even say, all he has to say is the 3 words, I divorce you, I divorce you, I divorce you. No, you actually have to go and actually make it a document. Like, we're not living in the 1900s now. And if I was a woman marrying him, who was a divorcee, I would say, show me a document that you're actually not Islamically married. Do you know what I mean? Because this is when you get them messy situations where they say they got a divorce, but next minute they're back together again. 3 years later down the line, there's a kid. No, I'll give him the paper if he wants the paper. If he doesn't, I won't chase it because it's not going to impact my life. I will never marry another Muslim again. Ever. How did you initiate? This is one of the biggest questions, you know. This is the biggest question. No, it's similar questions, but it's basically the same. How did you initiate the first conversation to let him know you're done? And then the other one right next to it, which is very similar, is like, what's the straw that broke the camel's back? Or what was the moment you realised that you were finished? Or what was this? Or what was that? Now, obviously, there's a lot of things between Far and I that are private. And I don't want to bring it onto the internet. But what I do want to say, because I want to be honest, is you're hearing my side of things. You're not hearing Far's. I'm pretty sure if you heard his, he'd probably say the opposite about me. I feel like people do that. But I've got no reason to tell anything that isn't truth. I feel like I asked for certain things for long periods of time, and I continually sat with it and waited and waited and waited and waited, and I constantly felt like I was asking for too much when I was asking for bare minimum. And about 4 months before I started, before I asked for the divorce, I thought, I'm getting fatter and fatter. My hair looks like dreadlock. I'm not enjoying this motherhood thing. Like, I felt so lonely. Like, I have never experienced loneliness like that in my life. How can you be that lonely when your person is sitting right there next to you? Do you know what I mean? And I don't want to be deep, but I want to be honest. Like, I prayed for an accident to happen because I just didn't want to. I thought, if this is my life, I cannot do that. I can't do this. I can't do this. And I didn't know what it was. I was like, is it me? Is it postpartum? Is it? And then I get, you know, you like have a moment by yourself. He's gone for 5 hours, 6 hours of the day, whatever. And then 6 hours deep, I'm like, no, it's not me. It's him. You know, and it's not him. But you know, you like, you make the other person, it's him, it's him. And then I was like, what actually happened? We went to Oman. That trip was my idea, but it was something that Far was like, yay, I'd love to do. That trip was the worst trip I've ever taken in my life. That trip told me everything I already knew. And you guys probably gonna go back and watch the Oman video now. And actually, this is good that I'm saying this. If you do go back and watch the Oman video now, don't believe the internet. And I never lied to you on that video. But there's so much that I wouldn't ever film. I just felt invisible. I was invisible in my marriage. You understand? Because if I'm speaking and you're saying you're listening and you're not doing anything, and then right now we're not even in a working environment. We're on a holiday for 3 weeks in a Muslim. This is your country, in my opinion. You know, like this is where I'm really going to see you, and I didn't see you. I don't feel, and that's not a dig. I thought, nah, if I ain't going to see him here, I lost him here. He's gone long time ago, man. Like, off you go, Bab. As soon as we got home, I said, fuck that. Fuck that. The only reason I didn't do it there is I thought, I'll end up leaving him here, me. We've always been so different. We've always been so different, but it's never impacted the marriage. But when I had kids, I just needed to be loved differently. I needed to be seen differently because when you don't have kids, you see a lot more of your friends, and like lots of you like ask me about my support network. I don't have many friends, but that's out of choice, man, because I don't like people. People, every time I get a lot of, and this sounds really arrogant. I don't mean it in an arrogant way, but I'm trying to tell you how it feels in my mind. I get a lot of people wanting to be my friend, but I don't want to be theirs because they always say stuff or do stuff that makes me feel icky. You know what I mean? Like, I got, especially this one friend, I could bury a body in a garden, nobody would ever know. You know that? Like, that's the kind of shit you need. You don't need these 5 friends that will go for cocktails with you. I'm telling you. So because my thing's small now, I think that's why I felt more isolated. And that's not, and like people might be like, that's a you problem. You should have found more friends. No. That's where you should have stepped in, I personally feel. I felt alone. I felt unseen. Before that, I used to go out all the time. So anything that he may not have been giving me, I may not have noticed as much because I'm with my friends, right? But when I had a baby and I got married, I made it clear to my friends, like, don't ring me on Thursdays asking to go Wales. Because I used to go Wales on a Thursday or whatever. You know, I worked shift work. It doesn't matter to me. When I got married, I genuinely took it seriously. I said, no, I've agreed to buy a house with this person. I'm someone's housewife, you know. I say housewife loosely because I was fucking working 40 hours a week. But still a housewife, still a wife of a house in a home. I don't know if Far understood that came with more emotional responsibility on his part. I did tell him too many times, okay? That Oman trip was the final thing for me. It was the final thing. And there was no screaming, no shouting. I don't want you to think that, like, if you do go back on the vlog and it's like, that was a lie. We wasn't screaming or shouting, but when you've got nothing, no distractions, and the person still feels very distracted, I'm not the one for you, you know what I mean? And honestly, at the time, I did just see it that way. I'm not the one for you. When actually now I've got my self-respect back, you're not the one for me. I deserve much better than this. And that's without dragging you, genuinely. And I've told him this. I deserve someone who will listen to me, even on the tightest day, you understand? Like, and he agrees, man. And I truly believe that I'm not his person, he's not my person. He's going to find his person, I'll find my person, and I think we'll honestly get along better as friends, as co-parenting friends. So that was the moment where I was like, hell nah. As soon as I got home, I don't think I spoke for like a week straight. I think I was just silent. You know, like just deciding. I don't think I told myself, will I end this marriage? I think I was just shocked at what I felt I received. And I sat on it for like a week, walking around like a zombie in airplane mode. Even though I was getting my kids dressed, I wasn't even switched on. And I thought, I would be a much better mom if I wasn't doing this. I just told myself I'd be a much better mom if I wasn't doing this. Like, not that he's making me a bad mom, but I'm not emotionally present because I'm so checked out because of my marriage, and your kids are part of your marriage, right? I thought, fuck it, I'm fucking doing it. I don't give a fuck. I'm fucking saying it. I'm fucking saying it. I remember just going into the kitchen and be like, can I talk to you? He was like making something. I was like, yeah, I can't do this. I won't be doing this. Nothing. You couldn't pay me. And I'll be honest, I'm a bit of a firecracker, so I wanted to make sure that he didn't think I was just kicking off. I was like, we had a whole 3-hour conversation. I said, I'm letting you know on this date, and I repeated the date. And I know the date, I just don't think it's any of your business. I said, on this date, at this time, I am considering myself divorced. Let's proceed. So obviously it took a year and a bit for and both of us to just actually, you know, it's real, you know. And it's awkward because sometimes we have like moments where we're like, but it's like, it's friendship. But I never want it to be like, no, there's no sign. I will never, I would, even if now, and I even said it to him in the conversation, even if now you became the man of my dreams, I would never go back into this, because I knew how far and hard I had to push you, and I had to be pushed for this version of you to come out. I'm not willing to do that with you again. I said that, is what I said. And I left it at that. I said, look, this is not going to be a smooth process, but I'll let you know I'm not sharing no bed, none of that. You know, because that will just cross the lines, man. Like, and we're lucky enough to have a big enough house with spare rooms. I'm not sharing a bed. Don't make my dinner when you make your own dinner. Like, let's just really, do you know, it sounds so silly, but the small things, you know, if you're using my car, fill up my car, stop using it like my, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is a transaction now at this point. It's not a loving relationship. So that's what happened. God, we got deep, man. We got real deep. Real deep. Okay, I'm only going to do a few more because I'm a little peckish. What was the input, if any, from his family? I want to say both families. Nobody knew anything. When I told you guys, he just told his family like 4 days before. So I think I actually liked it that way, because I'd asked for the divorce over a year before. He'd not told them for over a year. By the time he'd told them, it was so far gone, there was nothing they could input. You know, they were just like, if you two feel like it's finished, it's finished. Whatever's best for you guys, however best we can support you guys with your kids. I mean, whatever. Yeah, I don't know, but you know, people say stuff, don't they? But they don't do things. I'll say that. So there's no input. Oh my God, some of these questions. Okay, your worries. I like this question. Your worries and fears and hopes for the future. Well, one, I'm just petrified. I'm petrified of like men, because I've got, if I didn't have kids, I wouldn't be, but I'm like, fuck's sake, like, one, the sex. I'm going to have to do the sex, whether it's with the love of my life or not. I'm going to have to do the sex again, which I'm not that eager to do. And if I'm not doing it for great reasons, I don't want them to think that they need to know about my kids, because I don't want to introduce my kids to it. And then I think about the other way around, like, oh God, I'm going to have to marry someone who like might want a kid. Like, please come with your own kids. Come with your own. I don't want to give you a kid. Imagine in like 4 years time when I'm sitting here with my husband. I mean, I shouldn't put a number on it because you're all going to be like, she knew this, she planned this. When I'm sitting there in X amount of time and my husband's watching this, he's going to say, you don't want kids. Right now, I actually don't want another baby father. So I feel like I've actually got a pretty good one. The odds of me getting someone who's this, you know, who's working with me like this is very slim, man. I've seen some of these baby father TikToks of the voice notes they send their baby moms and stuff. Don't give me one of them, because I'll go jail. So I don't want another baby father. I don't want to rent out my womb to someone else. I want you to come with your own kids, preferably a boy and a girl, so you can't look at me for trying to solve your gender asphyxiation. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm okay with my boys. I actually don't care whether I had a daughter or not. I never cared for any gender. The second I had a boy, I thought, I'm a bit of a business mind. I thought it'd be great if the second one was a boy, because we already have one and it's easy and it's free. Everything's covered. Do you know what I mean? Like, we had everything, and I had another boy. I don't, genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, I don't have this yearning for a girl. Nothing. I always wanted 4 kids. I didn't have 4 kids. I had 2, and that's okay with me. So that stresses me out about the future. In regards to life, mothering, finances, I'm not stressed about that one bit. And you all might be thinking, how if you're not financially stable? I have never failed myself. If I actually told you guys exactly where I came from and how I grew up, you would be like, I've never, if I've never failed myself, there's no way in hell I'll fail these two boys. So none of that stresses me out. In fact, I can't wait to finally get on a schedule and be in separate houses and take them on holidays and shit, you know what I mean, again, because we haven't travelled at all this year, and also I medically can't because of the whole, that's a different story, okay? I'm going to do one last question because my belly is like, will it be hard for the boys to grow up Muslim without your ex living with you? I don't think so, because I speak quite a lot of Somali anyway, but also because Farhan was like my teacher, he wasn't really my teacher, but anything I wanted to know or learn, I would just ask him. When this is all over, I'm going to go and get one Somali lessons. I know Somali isn't Muslim, but bear with me, okay? I'm going to go get, I say Somali lessons, you can't really get Somali lessons, but I'm going to get someone who speaks really good Somali, the same dialect as Far, to teach me full Somali. Because then if I can speak their language, I feel like that naturally connects them to their community anyway. You know what I'm saying? So, and anything Islamic that I don't know, I would say, ask your dad, you know, like Jai, I say to Jai all the time, if there's anything that you do with mom or dad that you really like, you must tell us. And if you tell us, we can do more of it with you. So it's like, I love it when I bake with mom, and I love it when I go Allah Akbar with dad. He says Allah Akbar, he doesn't say mosque, he just says Allah Akbar. I said, okay, cool, you want to do that more? I call his dad, I say, look, you need to ask him all these questions, because he tells me he really enjoys that. So now his dad's taken him to the mosque umpteen times already, because they normally just go like on Fridays. His dad takes him way more. Fridays or Eid. But yeah, I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about that at all. I do worry about some white guy coming in with a beer addiction now. God, that's so horrible. Horribly stereotypical, but this is what I mean by dating, man. You know what I mean? I've dated white guys before. Not that all white guys are like that, but I've dated the white guys that are at the pub and they tell you they're going for 1 and they're there for 11. Like, drop me out, honestly, drop me out. I'd rather be shot in the head. But that's a relationship issue, okay? Okay, finally, this is like 3 questions in one. Has he been nice to you since the breakup? Are you still friends? And, well, there was another one. I don't know what it was, but it was basically just about mine and Far's relationship. We don't have drama, like you just saw with the texting. I'm called him and said, put your own number. I would have said that even in a marriage, but I would have been like, is there any reason why? Because when you're a white, soft voice, ignores me. Yeah, I'll send you the code. I would have done that 5 times before I started tweaking a bit. Now I'm like, so I don't think there's been a clear line of disrespect. However, he does get more frustrated with me, and I get more frustrated with him than we did. But I don't take it personally, and I hope he doesn't take it personally, because that's to be expected. Like, I'm pretty sure he's sick of seeing me too. You know, he hasn't said it, but that doesn't mean he doesn't feel it. He's not someone, you know, like me, I'll say that because that's how I feel. I feel like I don't want to tell you how I feel, so then we don't continue. But he wouldn't say something that potentially may hurt someone's feelings, which makes him sound like a great person or better than me. And, you know, if it does, cool. I just work differently. So even if he does feel it, he probably won't say it. Unless I say it. Oh, actually, I tell him, like, I'll say, I don't want to be around you. And he'll go, me too. But he'll never be the guy who goes, I am sick and tired of you. Do you know what I mean? So we're a little less more patient for each other. But not when it comes to the kids, for the small things. Like, ringing me, can you check if I've left my keys at home? No. Do you know what I mean? Can you tell me where? No. Like that, I don't have any patience for at all. And I'm pretty sure there's things that he don't have patience for me. But other than that, no. There's no drama. There's no ill will. There's no, I don't know. Have we had stern words? Yeah, we have. You know, we're getting a divorce, and sometimes people can slip into the habit of behaving like they're still married. So that is going to cause a little conflict. But other than that, nothing. I do not regret asking for a divorce. I feel like I look the fuck good with divorce. I should have got divorced sooner. Okay? And to wrap it up, just to give you all a bit of a, because I just posted the get ready with me on Instagram, and you're all going to be like, I came over there, hear from that. My hair as well. I got rid of my blonde hair after I asked for divorce, just because I felt like my hair was tied to this person. Just because I went blonde when I was with him, I thought, oh, I just felt like, oh, get it off. I regret that now because I can't go back blonde anytime soon, and I actually hate the dark hair. I hate the dark hair because I have to have dark eyebrows, and it just makes my face feel really closed in. My hairdresser won't make me blonde anytime soon. And remember I went red? I have got new extensions that are red, but I don't want red again like this. So I'm going to go for a little hair transformation on 5 days, 3 days, in a few days, at the end of this week, whatever day it is. I'm hoping she makes me feel like a baddie again. Please make me feel like a baddie, because if you want me to do the sex, I need to feel like a baddie. But I'm also doing Botox. I'm doing Botox, and I know a lot of you are going to be like, she's 100% having a midlife crisis because now she's got divorced, now she's doing Botox. Maybe it is, but I'm actually enjoying it. If this is a midlife crisis, sign me up, because I like it. I don't feel like I need it. Some of you might be like, yes, you do. I don't really feel like I do need it. I don't know. But I feel like I want to do it before I'm 30. Like, I don't like the idea of not being able to lift my head on whatever they do. But I do like the idea of it preventing creases. Because once the crease is there, it's there, isn't it? So I think I'm going to do it when I'm 29, 30. But because I don't like medicine, I don't like needles and shit like that. Like, I don't like anything. Even in labour, wouldn't have a drug. Not one thing. But labour's different. Labour's a one-time thing. This is a life thing. I'm single now. I've got to make sure I look hot, right? So because I'm going to do Botox, I'm trying to warm myself up to the idea. I'm going to do it in my nose. And I know some of you are going to be like, is that because of the comment? People comment on my nose like, do you know that I've had this nose for years? I actually don't care for my nose. I feel like my nose actually just looks bigger because I was married to someone with a big nose. And when you're married to someone for that long, you start looking like him. He's got a massive nose. My nose is nothing like that man's nose. I actually don't mind my nose. But what I am going to do is do it here to relax the muscle. Because like when I talk, I always flare. And if you saw my dad's talking, he's like shouting, hello, like that. So he's constantly got flared nostrils. And every time I catch myself and I've got a flared nostril in the middle of a conversation, I feel like that man's daughter. And I'm like, Leah, it's not very cutesy, it's not very demure. But because I did say I'm there. She told me like, one for this price or just do 3 areas. Most people do 3 areas. So I said, okay, I'll do my underarm, 1, 2 and 3. Because I don't want to just put it there just because it's free, girl math, whatever. So I'm going to do it there because apparently it's amazing there. And that might help me with like my OCD as well, because the way I shower when it's hot and in foreign countries is not normal. Take the skin off my legs. So I'm doing that, and I'm going to do the hair. I don't know about the sex though, okay? I cannot confirm or deny if I ever do that. But I hope my honesty in this video helped some of you. Because right now I'm just figuring it out. I'm new here too. I don't know what I'm doing. But what I do know is I'm here for it. I'm following the process. I'm trusting the process.